So I have some news, and not only does it make me angry, but it should make you angry. Let me explain. If you've never seen The Cat in the Hat, I recommend you read the book because it can do a better job of explaining what it is than I ever could. Okay, so here's the lowdown on what happened. So when The Cat in the Hat came out, it got really bad reviews, and I mean abysmal reviews. And while it kind of sort of turned a profit, like it broke even, but it made a very little profit, Dr. Seuss's widow actually revoked the rights to his work so that the studios couldn't make any more live-action Dr. Seuss movies. But after doing a little bit of research, I fucking learned something. Number one would be from this. As I stated before, not only did it break even, it made a tiny little bit of a profit. Number two, and I didn't add this information to my little slideshow thing, but this was directed by, I think his name was Bo Derek. I might have that name wrong, but either way, this was his first ever made film. This was somebody's debut film, but yet we still seem to want to grade it on the same scale as like fucking Steven Spielberg. And it makes me wonder, as a professional critic, what kind of expectations do you have for a 6-foot-tall talking cat? Especially one played by Austin Powers. And that's not criticizing Mike Myers, that's going in with a weirdly high set of expectations. And if you look at the disparity, I think that might be the word for it, I could be wrong, I might just be stupid, between the critic reviews and the audience reviews, I would say with the audience reviews, it's about 4% away from being considered fresh, whatever the audience equivalent of fresh is. Moving forward, as a millennial myself, I know for a fact that The Cat in the Hat film fits all the criteria to be considered a cult or a cult following film. It in fact does have its own fan base that enjoys repeated viewings and dialogue quoting, myself included, with audience participation. And I can prove, what the fuck would you even call this? By the way, this was very little scrolling. It didn't take anything for me to find these videos. And by this time you're wondering, crushed parking lot candy, what the fuck are you blabbing on about? Back to this little blurb from Wikipedia here. We found out that originally The Cat in the Hat Comes Back was slated to be released after The Cat in the Hat, right? But due to poor ratings and very poor performance in the box office revenue, it was canceled. However, I have proof that it met all the criteria for there to be a sequel. Here, in fact, are a list of movies I found on Rotten Tomatoes with worse reviews than The Cat in the Hat, and every single one of them had sequels. So by critics' standards, Garfield deserved A Tale of Two Kitties, but I can't find out what happens when The Cat in the Hat comes back. I'm calling bullshit. And frankly, the only thing that saved the Ouija series was the sequel. And don't even get me started on the 50 Shades franchise because I can go all day long. My point being is that no, Mike Myers did not ruin The Cat in the Hat. The critics had weirdly high expectations. And as a matter of fact, we do deserve that damn sequel. Fight me, Helen.